Hello my lovely students, and welcome to this video explaining Hera and Juno, the ancient Greek and Roman goddess. Let's just have a quick reminder of what the specification is asking us to do, know about Greek and Roman gods, their responsibilities and symbols, and how they are typically represented in ancient Greek and Roman art, which means what they're famous for, what symbols and other items they're associated with, how they're represented in ancient Greek and Roman art, and some stories about them as well. Hera and Juno. Her common epithets: Queen of the Gods and ox-eyed Hera. Now this doesn't mean she looks like a cow, but oxen have a very dark black outline around their eye, kind of like coal eyeliner, which actually gives us an idea that perhaps they wore coal eyeliner back when Hera was originally starting to be worshipped. It could also have something to do with the beautiful eyelashes, long glossy eyelashes that cows and oxen have. So certainly something to do with her attractiveness or a particular quality. Her symbols: she's often on a throne. She often is accompanied by a cuckoo or a peacock. She often carries a scepter, which is a regal staff. It basically looks like a very pretty stick. And she wears a diadem or crown to show that she is queen of the gods. Her responsibilities, or what she's known for, are sharing power with her husband or brother. Yes, they are related, but they're gods, so there's no actual consequences to this. And when I say sharing power, she's the queen, and much like queens in ancient times, there is not a lot of actual power that goes with that compared to the king. She's also the goddess of childbirth. Yes, even though Hera doesn't actually really have many children, just Ares and Hephaestus. Now, there is an actual goddess of childbirth, Epitheta, who physically represents childbirth itself, and here she is with her legs crossed, and that means a woman is not ready to give birth yet when Epitheta has her legs crossed and stopping the baby to come out. However, Hera, or Juno, is kind of like the general manager of childbirth, so she's in charge of Epitheta. She's also goddess of marriage, even though her marriage is nothing to write home about, and women in general, so she's a very, very important goddess for women. She's also very famous for her constant arguments with her husband Zeus, or Jupiter, mostly over his lovers and the offspring he has with them, hence her jealousy. The reason why she's shown with a peacock, which has become a symbol of envy or jealousy, is because of one of those lovers. That story is coming up in the video on Hermes. Hera, or Juno's birth story, you've heard part of before. She was one of the children born of Rhea and Kronos, who was then eaten by Kronos. Then she and her brothers and sisters were sicked back up when Zeus tricked Kronos into drinking poison. She was also a pre-Hellenic goddess, Hellenic meaning Greek as we know it, and she was possibly linked to an earlier Mycenaean or Minoan Earth Mother goddess. So she has developed over time. Now let's look at etymology. Hera comes from the Greek Hera, which literally means protectress, related to Heros, hero, originally defender or protector. Prior to this, the word possibly meant mistress of the season, which comes from the Proto-Indo-European roots of language. And the difference between mistress of the season turning into protectress or defender suggests a development of Hera's role over time. Juno comes from the Proto-Italic Juven, meaning perhaps young or the young one. And this is perhaps from a very early association with her being a goddess of the new moon, the young moon. She has many roles and epithets describing those roles as a Roman goddess, due to her being a very popular goddess and having far more responsibilities than we can really label here. Her major temple in Greece, the greatest and earliest freestanding temple, was the Heraion of Samos, where there was a cult dedicated to her who mostly worshipped her birth. She also had a major Greek festival, the Heraia, that took place at Argos and Mycenae. In Rome, Her major temple was the Capitolia on the Capitoline, where she was worshipped as part of the Capitoline triad of Jupiter, Juno and Minerva, the Roman name for Athene. There were also Capitolii on the hills in other important cities, again showing how important she was. The way that Hera is seen in both Greece and Rome is as a powerful woman, veiled to show that she is married, with a bird, mostly either a cuckoo or a peacock. The fact that she hasn't changed in her appearance between the Greeks and Romans show that her responsibilities remain very much the same between them. Now a story. The most famous story about Hera or Juno, which isn't just her being angry at Zeus for having yet another affair with a mortal or other god, is the story of their marriage. Zeus attempted unsuccessfully to court his sister Hera, and those of you younger than 100 years old won't know what that means. Courting is when you are nice to someone because you want to have a relationship to them. She was having none of it. Zeus disguised himself as a shivering little bird, a cuckoo, to obtain pity from Hera. Yet another example of Zeus changing his form to try and get a woman. His entrapment worked. When Hera tenderly picked up what she thought was a poor little bird and hugged it to her, Zeus returned to his true shape and raped her. Hera was shamed into marrying him. It's possible that the myth of the conflict-driven marriage of Zeus and Hera is in fact a representation of the changing culture of Greece. It could relate back to the time when a barbarous northern tribe invaded Greece in around 1000 BCE. The ancient Greeks at this time were believed to be revering a Mother Earth goddess and celebrating her magical powers of restoration and rebirth. These invaders brought with them their violent, masculine sky gods and overcame the Greeks much in the same way that Zeus rapes Hera and coerces her into marriage. Overall, Hera, or Juno, is the most important of the female gods. She represents the system of patriarchy through the way she is treated as less important in power and in her marriage than the man. Women should worship and sacrifice to Hera or Juno in order to have successful marriages and pregnancies. And even though she's a goddess, she is still a second-class persona because she is a woman, which represents the views of the time, not mine, clearly. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to find the rest of the videos on the Olympians and to subscribe to this channel to know whenever they are posted. Have a great day.